Hey friends, so today is a very fun day because we are going to be making the 2024 Christmas ham. So I should maybe make a ham playlist. I might do that, although the videos are obviously up in here for a little while. That might be a little bit bad. But if I do decide to do that, I'll leave that down below. Otherwise, I'll leave last year's ham recipe down below. I feel like now this is like a yearly tradition. And Nick and I were talking because we love Christmas ham. This isn't going to last us all December, which is really bad. I'm going to make this ham. Every time I make a ham as a video each year, I like to experiment with different flavors. I generally find different recipes online and then do that. This year, I'm sure there's a recipe for this out there, but I just went through my fridge. We have some Plum Jam, which we love, and we got a little bit left, and I was like, ooh, plum and ham. You know what I'm thinking? So I'm going kind of winging it this year for the marinade to bake the ham. So each year as a video I try to do a different glaze if you want to spice things up from your traditional honey glazed ham. But for Christmas Day, Nick is going to do his first ham as well to serve on Christmas Day. So that's going to be kind of fun. And we were just talking about it on how we're both excited to do our own hams. He does the traditional, well, this is the route he's going to go for today. He wants to do the traditional honey glazed ham and he's going to smoke it in his smoker. I obviously like to come up with different glazes or find different glazes and have something different. And we love, regardless, we've loved every ham. I haven't made a bad ham yet. So hopefully today, with me also winging and not actually finding a ham recipe online, hopefully today is not the day where we make a bad ham. But we do have some noise. I have my fan on. It is way too hot. I can't not have it on, so I'm sorry if you hear that. Dishwasher's going. I've got the washing machine just out there going. And I got my oven preheating at 160 degrees Celsius. I feel like normally I bake hams at a lower temp and let it go for like 2-3 hours. But I'm thinking 160 because it's a jam. There's a lot of sugar content. We're going to add brown sugar to it as well. It might only go for like an hour, hour and a half. We have to keep the eye on it, but we're going to start at 160. After we've baked, I'll let you know exactly the temperatures and the timing because I might change it throughout. I'm also recommend baking a ham in a throwable disposal container. I do have a really nice roasting pan. And I have a feeling, I might be wrong, but I have a feeling it was last year's ham that like it destroyed it. Absolutely destroyed the pan. The ham was great, but the pan was no bueno. So this is nice and big for the ham. And I think that's what I'm going to do moving forward when it comes to ham. So recommend that. Otherwise, we will get going with this ham. Actually, I changed my mind. We are going to get going with the glaze. So I've got a saucepan here. We're going to be melting our ingredients, putting the stuff in the pot, melting it all together. This looks dirty, but it's just kind of stuffed up. That's fine. It's all clean. This is the Plum Jam that we currently have. You can for sure get a supermarket jam, but I got this. It would either be in the O'Kips or the Wilder Visitor Center. I think this one's the O'Kips one. Yeah, it was delicious, and we're definitely going to, I like to go to those two places to get some local things like honeys and jams and pickles and sauces. It's really, really cool. So if you haven't checked out either of the places, I definitely recommend, but I'm sure when I go back to both, I will see this again and I'll definitely get it because yeah, it's delicious. So we got a little bit left here. I'm going to say about 1/4 cup. So I'm going to melt down our marinade. So we're going to do all of our marinade ingredients in the pot. Get that melting down first, and then as that's slowly melting, we can get the ham prepared. We'll do that first, more efficient. All right, first things first, in this pot, it isn't on at the minute. So like I said, I'm going to use the rest of this jam, which is about 1/4 cup of jam, and I think that will be the perfect amount. So I'm just got a silicone spatula to try and scoop it out, because we don't want any of this delicious jam to be wasted. But we kept it in the fridge as well, so it's a bit hard. Maybe if I took it, oh there we go. I was gonna say otherwise I should have taken it out a little bit to come to room temp first, but I just love using silicone spatulas to scrape out all the bits because it's all yummy bits. Also this, oh. Oh no. This angle is a little bit different. You can see my pantry, it doesn't have a door, and it's a bit of a mess. I don't generally like to show it, but yeah, girl is struggling with angles with my tripod. It doesn't really fit underneath my stove area, but we got that pretty cleaned up, so that is wonderful. So yeah, we got our jam. Now for the rest of the ingredients, and again, I'm just kind of winging it. So with this, we want more sugar, and to keep this easy, I'm going to do 1/4 cup measurements for everything. So my 1/4 cup measurer is currently in the dishwasher, so I got a 1/2 cup measurer here, and I'm just going to fill it halfway. So we got a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now jams already have sweetness and the acidity, but because we're adding more sugar, we want to add in more acidity properties too. Instead of just going regular vinegar, I'm going to opt for rice wine vinegar. So 1/4 cup of that as well. A big teaspoon of honey. I feel like you can't have ham without a little bit of honey at least. And that flavor, I feel like, still will be absolutely delicious with the plum. So I think this will be enough for my mix. We'll put this down on a low heat to get it melting, and I'll keep my eye on it. We just want the plum and the honey, the plum jam and the honey to melt, and that brown sugar to dissolve. My dishwasher's just draining at the minute, so you might hear that. I'll add a pinch of salt, and this salt is absolutely beautiful. So this is Redmond's real salt. I don't know, I can't get the camera to focus. I'll try and do a little overlap of the salt. It is beautiful, and it is the best tasting salt I have tried. And I got a link down below if you wanted to check it out. On my Amazon links, I got a few links down there. And if you were to click on that and make a purchase, I do make a little bit of money from commission, so it does help me out as well. But obviously you're not obligated to buy anything you don't want to. But I was watching Becky from Acre Homestead. She uses that salt, and it is good. It is good salt. And now she's kind of inspired me. I'm going to be actually adding cinnamon. No, I'm not. I was going to add cinnamon. I changed to Chinese allspice. We'll add like 1/2 teaspoon. To make it taste like Christmas. And with that mix too. I was going to add cinnamon, but yeah, I opted for Chinese 5 spice. But she uses a really high brand cinnamon. She always has quality of ingredients. I want to get into quality like spices. I want to get into higher quality spices and just experiment a little bit. Maybe that's the thing for next year. But for now, that's so delicious. Alrighty, ham time. So, first of all is obviously the plastic. We don't want, and we do want to keep the fat on this ham, but we don't want the skin. And then we also got to score it. So there's not too much work in prepping the ham, which is nice and good. So this is the back of the ham. It's got the bones and things sticking out. That's pretty much fine. We're not going to really work on that. But then if you do the side, you can see here, this is the skin. And the skin is what we want to remove, but oh, look at that already, my finger. I was going to say, if you put it in too much, that's the fat. Right here's the fat. We want to keep that. I was going to say, it's just cut a little bit, but my finger just done it. And you should be able to slide this skin off in one piece. I remember when I first started getting into hams, I was trying to carve it off with a knife. But look at this. That's probably the easiest skin I've ever had to remove, all in one piece. I'm not going to chop this out actually just yet, because I personally can't be bothered, but Nick might turn this into crackle. And this is a beautiful fat. So again, we're just looking if it's a bit too fatty. Right here is a bit thick with the fat. So I'm going to carve that off a bit. And then if we flip it as well, you can really see the fat line. See right there's a bit thick. Oops. I'm going to discard this piece. But I'm just going to go along, trimming off the fat where it's a bit thicker. personal preference, you don't have to. This is a very nice piece like that. So I'm just kind of going along, oops, right through, kind of that line. Because really the rest of it you kind of can't see until you go too far down, which is right there. So I might do a light on top everywhere just to give it that different texture. You can see here where that skin was, and then once I do just shave off that layer of fat, see the texture's nice and smoother. So I might actually do that along the whole of the ham, just very lightly. Now I'm going to take this ham and pop it into our dish before we do any other step. I'm not the biggest fan of the flavor of clove, but it's absolutely beautiful, especially on a Christmas ham. And clove is already in the Chinese 5-spice. Clove is already used in the Chinese 5-spice. And we are going to put it in the incision, some whole cloves, just for that beautiful traditional Christmas ham look. Definitely don't eat it when you serve it. You want to pick them out, the whole cloves. It's more of a garnish, and it does give the flavor. When if you eat a piece where that clove was sitting, it will have a flavor, but it's not overpowering, not what you thought. First time I made a ham, I don't think I'd done the cloves because I'm like, ew, that's gonna be yucky. But then I tried a ham where it was baked with cloves, and I got served a slice where the clove was, and I was a bit nervous, but it honestly isn't that overpowering. So if you think you don't like cloves, maybe just try a little bit, because I'm a very fussy eater and it's not that bad. So now with our ham, with our beautiful limes, we got some whole cloves, and it's gonna be easy. I'll just wipe down this table, just dry it off, not table, bench, just to lay it out. This is what a whole clove looks like if you haven't seen one before. So it's beautiful. This is what we want on top, and it's got this point. And in the incisions where it makes a cross, we're just going to shove a clove. And we'll go around to each one, and it's going to be super, super beautiful. Oops, that's okay. Nope, that one's gone. Now these pieces of clove that we didn't use can go back. And I honestly only use this for ham. I don't think I ever use cloves for anything else. They might even be expired, but like, they're fine. That'll be fine. These pieces are just little flaky bits that I can get. Oh, I'll just chuck them in the pan. And now the glaze. So I'm just using a brush. The glaze is nice and melted. A bit of that ham is a bit, not ham, jam is a bit clumpy, but that's fine. And we're just going to brush it on top, and this is going to give beautiful, beautiful flavor and color. And when this goes into the oven, we're going to take it out probably every 20 minutes and rebaste. So we only want enough to go on top now, because we want to keep some in our pot for just a little bit. But we're going to make sure we get all of the exposed sides. Sometimes the cloves come out in this process. It happens. And that's okay. I'll just try and pop them back in if I can reach. And also I want to make sure to get the fronting of this pork, of this ham for sure. It's going to go into the oven now at 160 degrees for probably 20 minutes, and then we'll reglaze. Also, check to see if your ham's going to fit before you preheat your oven. I have to lower my middle rack down one because the ham's too thick. It's not going to fit in the oven. Alrighty, so 20-minute timer has just gone off. Time for the first glaze. I did put the ham, well, you guys see, but I put it on a baking tray. Oh, it's so heavy. See, so I put this container on a baking sheet just because this is a little flimsy. So a beautiful looking ham. The score lines are a lot more prominent now, and that is fine. So what we're gonna do, our glaze is still perfectly fine. We're just gonna pop it in. We can really get in with the cracks as well now. So yeah, it's still at 160 degrees. I think we'll keep it at this temperature. And we're just gonna let this have a beautiful glaze all over. Now she's nice and glazed, we'll pop it back in the oven. Yeah, we'll keep it at 160 degrees Celsius. Oh, it's beautiful. It smells so good. For another 20 minutes. And I think, yeah, 4 or 5 times that we'll bring it down and baste it. And then she'll be ready. I'm so excited. So the ham is now out for the final time. I am going to go over with a glaze, but I'm just doing a voiceover because I don't really know what happened to the audio here. It was really like funny sounding. Anyway, so I ran out of glaze. In total, I believe I did do 4 glazes, but by the 3rd time I had to reglaze the ham. That's when I used the rest on the pot. So for the final glaze and the glaze before this, I just used the pan juices just like you can see me do right now. And also you'll see that I scored the ham too deep. I always do this every year. I know I always score too deep, but I don't realize until it's too late, like it's baked. You can kind of see here, and you can see the cloves have just kind of moved around and fallen. That's purely because I scored too deep. So I try to keep that in mind for future years, but I always, yeah, just score too deep. But it looks absolutely delicious. For the last 20 minutes, the last time, we did put the oven up to 200 degrees Celsius. Alright, so this is the beautiful ham. It is absolutely smelling delicious. When I put it on this plate, I did get a little sticky finger, so I did lick my fingers. It tasted, I was going to say it tastes disgusting. It tastes incredible. But now we're going to do a taste test. And next off to the side for a taste test as well. What do you want to slice? Just slice?
I've already planned how I'm going to slice it. You cut it off the other side though.
What?
Like the other side, like you know how there's like here, the other side.
Here?
Yeah, that's one.
I was just going to slice it down like this.
Oh, that's spooky.
Oh. Here?
Yeah.
You want like that?
I'll cut it at the end. This is a taste test.
Yeah. Oh, you just want to taste this fat piece?
Sure.
Just the fat?
I can if you want.
Have it with a bit of meat.
Not much beats a Christmas ham.
Alright, so I got a slice of ham with the edge, and I got a little bit of that fatty bit with that delicious glaze. It's so soft.
Alright.
I just ripped another piece off. Delicious. Probably could do more plum jam. But it is really, really nice. So that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. My fingers are all sticky and delicious. And enjoy this ham. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!